Hey everybody, it's Greg from Park Journey. Hope you're all doing well. We got a great update for you today from Universal Studios Hollywood. I went to the park a couple days ago. Lots of Halloween Horror Nights progress going on. They've got walls around the two theaters that they just recently shut down for presumably a new attraction, rumored to be a Fast and Furious coaster. And then we've also got some Fast and Furious cars around on the new Universal Plaza. We'll show off the updated Universal Plaza there on the upper lot. So lots to get to today, so we'll get right into it. But before I do, make sure you click below to subscribe to our channel. All right, everybody, so we'll go ahead and start here on the upper lot. So they just recently redid the Universal Plaza. They took out the fountains and everything, and in this place now is some really nice brickwork. I'll show off it here in a second. But they've added in some Fast and Furious cars from the Fast X movie. So here we've got some shiny cars, a couple of classics. I love the Datsun Z that they've got on the other side, which we'll get around to. We actually saw a car that yellow chrome color on the freeway the other day. I didn't realize that was something that could happen, but yeah, it's very distracting and very bright. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this franchise. I've only ever seen the first two. It's not my thing. I love action movies, but I'm not really fond of the acting in it. I think that you can actually do an action movie with good, at least halfway decent acting. Some movies over the last few years have actually shown that they can do it. The dialing in of the actors on the Fast and Furious attraction is about all I can stand of the people in this franchise, to be honest with you. But anyway, I know it's popular. I know some people love it. So, and the cars are cool. The cars are cool to look at. Like I said, I love this Datsun 240Z here. Classic car there. You got the Charger up there. I think that Charger is probably in every Fast and Furious movie. And then you got some other cars around here too. And then, as I said, they recently updated the Universal Plaza, so you can see here some of the brickwork. It looks absolutely fantastic. I'm glad that they put some coverings under the cars to kind of protect their new brickwork here. It doesn't look like they're quite done. On the other side, there's some blank wall space and things like that you can see here. So I'm assuming that they'll probably update this a little bit more, but they wanted to get the Fast and Furious cars in there for the opening of Fast X this weekend. But yeah, it looks really good. The fountains were hardly ever on anyway, with everything that happens in this area with all the festivals and Grinchmas and Halloween Horror Nights, food stuff the last couple of years. So kind of makes sense to kind of get rid of it. It didn't really. It's a premium space. There's also a splash pad over by Minions, so it doesn't really need it in this area. So moving on over to Halloween Horror Nights construction. The Parisian Courtyard maze here. You can see the facade looks pretty close to being done, at least from what we can see. As far as what this is, I couldn't tell you. This doesn't ring a bell as far as any kind of franchise is concerned or IP is concerned. There have been some rumors about a Universal Monsters Paris maze. So this would definitely fit in with that in this particular area of the park, the Parisian Courtyard, obviously, and that maze, or excuse me, house, usually lets out in the Paris area in the exit. So that would kind of track if that is where they're going with this. And then over here on the side, you see the typical exit of the house up here on the upper lot in this particular area. Nothing really thematic to see, peeking through the ivy there at this time. But I'm sure in the next couple of weeks and months we'll start seeing more. The walls are up and around the animal actors stage here. So you can see, I'm sure they'll probably add something to the walls once they announce what's actually happening. Again, the rumors are a Fast and Furious coaster that's going to take this spot in some of the hill going down to the lower lot around the Starway. Again, not a huge fan of the franchise. I'm looking forward to a new coaster, but maybe a different kind of theme. I was thinking more Back to the Future, maybe something more classic. Because even if you look in the Universal stores, there's lots of merchandise for Jaws and Back to the Future, and very minimal when it comes to Fast and Furious. So I'm not quite sure the the attraction equates to theme park additions, but it is what it is. And then here are the wall around the special effects stage as well. And then on the other side, on the exit side of the special effects stages, there's some walls over here as well, kind of covering the entire little bridge there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens if and when they announce this. Obviously the park is going through a rather large expansion right now. Obviously Super Nintendo World is quite popular, so we'll see what happens there. Moving down towards the lower lot, there is the house that is along the tram route in the back, right next to stage 16 there, as you can see. Nothing really to see as far as indications of what the house actually is at this point. This is where the Killer Clowns was last year, so it'll be kind of in the same spot. And then obviously we have the house on the back of the Mummy. You got the entrance there, at least where the entrance was last year. So I would assume probably, unless they're moving it back, the facade back to the other side, the entrance to the other side of the house that is usually in this spot, that will be the entrance to the house. So that's either the entrance or the exit, depending on which way they do the maze this year. And then just zooming in on the backstage house there, again next to stage 16, you can see a little bit of the facade there on the far right next to stage 16. It's just white with looks like a window and a door there, but obviously no indication of what it actually is at this point. No houses have been announced as of this time, but I would assume we'll start seeing some announcements probably in the next couple weeks at the very latest. And then I also did the single rider on Mario Kart. I hadn't actually done it before, so I wanted to kind of give you all a walkthrough of how to get this. This is right as you enter the attraction queue to the right. It basically goes right next to the test seat that's right there, and then up these stairs here, up to the second level of the attraction, and then it kind of moves around the normal queue. So here's the normal queue, as you can see. And it kind of moves to the right of that, and you just kind of follow this path all the way around. And the attraction was, when I went by, when I rode, it was about an 80-minute wait, and I want to say I waited maybe 15 for a single rider. So obviously a rather decent option if you would like to, you don't need to see the queue, or you're by yourself and things like that. So. It also gives you some different views of Super Nintendo World too, which is kind of nice. So, yeah, it's just you just follow this path around, and then basically as you enter this spot here, you go right to pick up your goggles. They do have the pre-show here. You can stop and look at it. They don't force you to, but you can go and look at it. And then here's obviously where people exit the pre-show, and then head down and get your goggles, or your visor. Goggles are actually on the attraction itself, and then you go to the left, and then just keep to your right all the way down to the stairs that are on the far right. And then moving back up to the upper lot here, nothing really going on here as far as house construction outside of Waterworld. Typically, I would think that we would see this by this time of the year. At least a shell of a house, but nothing here. So kind of makes me wonder if they're actually going to have a house in this location this year. But we'll see. There's been talk of another maze, a fourth maze down on the lower lot this year, in addition to the two that I showed you and the one that's usually in the soundstage down there. So we'll see. Maybe they're just kind of not using this area. And then just a little bit of merchandise that I hadn't seen before in the Superstore. This looks like some running merchandise. So it makes me wonder if they're going to be bringing back their Universal Run series. So it looks like some dry fit stuff, some hats, some shirts, things like that. So again, we'll have to see if they actually end up bringing back their Run Universal events. They have not come back since the shutdown. But we'll see if they come back. I would love it if they did. I never got a chance to actually do one, so I would be excited if they actually did bring it back. And then they've got some Pride merch here. All of the Pride merch is 100% of the profits are being donated to the LGBTQ plus Center of Los Angeles through August. So here you have your love, peace, good vibes, together strong. Love is universal, which is their slogan that they've had for the last few years. Some shot glasses, coffee mugs. I would expect to see a little bit more of this in the next month or so. Pride Month is next month, so maybe a little bit more merchandise over the next few weeks. And then here you see that they are donating all of the proceeds. And then they've got kind of a spirit jersey. Actually, I'm not a big fan of the spirit jerseys, but this one's actually kind of nice. It doesn't look too thick. But yeah, I like the colors and how they're blended. Then lastly, up here on CityWalk, walls are around Starbucks. Not sure what this is going to be. Obviously, the Starbucks moved up where the restaurant above Antojitos used to be. So we'll see what this is in the near future. All right, everybody. So that's going to wrap it up for our Universal Studios Hollywood update. Hope you enjoyed. We'll probably be back at the park in a few weeks once we start seeing more Halloween Horror Nights stuff going up. Obviously, any announcements that happen, we'll have for you as well. And then obviously, if and when the Upper Lot new attraction gets announced, we will have that for you as well. Thanks for watching, everybody, and take care.